The last-minute goal effect. Why your brain loses control in the final minutes. Picture this. Minute 89. Your team is losing 0-1. The crowd is dead. Players look exhausted. Then, a corner kick. A header. Goal. 1-1. Last second of the game. Is that goal worth more than a goal in minute 10? Logically, no. It's the same 1 point. But it doesn't feel that way at all. That feeling, that gut punch followed by pure euphoria, is not random. Your brain is running a very specific program. And once you understand it, you'll never watch football the same way again. Today we're talking about the last-minute goal effect, loss aversion, time pressure, and why your brain completely loses control in the final minutes. In 1979, psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky discovered something strange. Losing $100 feels about twice as bad as winning $100 feels good. Not the same, twice as bad. They called it loss aversion. Our brain is hardwired to hate losing more than it loves winning. Now bring that into football. When your team is losing, every minute that passes activates loss aversion harder and harder. The brain isn't tracking time neutrally. It is tracking threat, and the threat is growing. Minute 80, minute 85, minute 88. Each tick of the clock tightens the grip. Here's the second force, time pressure. When time is running out, our brain shifts from rational thinking to emotional emergency mode. This is called the amygdala hijack. Your fight-or-flight system takes over from your logical prefrontal cortex. You stop thinking, you start feeling. In a psychology study at Princeton, participants had to solve puzzles while running out of time. The closer they got to the deadline, the worse their logical performance got. But their emotional reactions intensified. The brain literally trades reasoning for raw emotion under time pressure. Sound familiar? Third force, emotional hijacking of memory. Kahneman also discovered the peak-end rule. We don't remember experiences as averages. We remember them by their peak emotional moment and their end. A 90-minute match of boring football followed by a last-minute winner? You'll remember that game as exciting. The boring 85 minutes fade. This explains why football fans describe matches in emotional extremes. That was the best game I have ever seen, despite 80 minutes of nothing. Or why a last-minute defeat feels catastrophic, even if your team played well for 89 minutes. The ending rewrites the entire story. The fourth piece, you are not experiencing this alone. When 60,000 people around you collectively explode at the same moment, your brain mirrors that emotion. This is emotional contagion, the automatic transfer of emotion from person to person through mirror neurons. The crowd amplifies everything your brain is already feeling. Studies on heart rate monitors worn by football fans show something remarkable. In a stadium during a last-minute goal, fans' heart rates spike to levels normally seen in physical exercise, even though they are sitting still. Your body is running a sprint while seated. That is how powerful collective emotion is. Let's look at the data. Researchers analyzed thousands of football matches and found that goals scored in the last 10 minutes generate 3 to 4 times more social media activity than goals in the first 10 minutes. Same goal, different timing. Completely different emotional response. Another study from the Journal of Sports Sciences found that football fans experience more intense emotional responses to late goals than early ones, regardless of the score. Even fans of the winning team from minute 1 experienced a physiological spike when their team scored in minute 87. The brain never gets used to time pressure. Now here's the interesting part. Once you know this, what do you do with it? First, recognize it in real time. When you feel that last-minute panic or euphoria, your brain is being chemically hijacked. You are not responding to facts. You are responding to time. Second, understand why late-game decisions go wrong. Players commit fouls they wouldn't commit in minute 20. Managers make substitutions driven by panic, not strategy. Fans call for the manager's head after a minute 89 defeat that felt like a catastrophe, but was statistically no different from any other loss. Third, and this is the one that matters most, the emotion is real even when the stakes are the same. A 1-1 draw is a 1-1 draw whether the equalizer comes in minute 12 or minute 93. But your brain will rate those experiences completely differently in your memory. Knowing this does not make the feeling go away. It makes you understand what the feeling actually is. Here's what we know. Loss aversion means your brain weighs the threat of losing more than the joy of winning. Time pressure shuts down logical thinking and hands the wheel to pure emotion. The peak end rule means the last thing that happens rewrites the whole story. And emotional contagion means 60,000 people feel it together and amplify each other. The last-minute goal is not just football drama. It is a perfect storm of 4 psychological forces hitting at exactly the same moment. Your brain was never designed for this. It was designed for survival, not for a penalty in the 93rd minute. But here you are, and you keep watching. Because nothing else quite feels like this. If this video made you think differently about how you experience football, subscribe. Every week, we decode the psychology behind things that feel obvious, until suddenly they do not. See you next time.